Hello and welcome to today's video. A few months back I made a video on how to test your window motor switches to find out if they were bad. Well, in today's video I'll be showing you how to go about testing your window motors to figure out if the problem is with your window motor or the regulator assembly itself. And here we got a cable type window regulator, which is found in most newer vehicles, and it consists of a motor, the bracket which attaches to and holds the glass, the rail assembly which the bracket slides up and down on, and the cable which pulls the bracket up or down. And the way it works, when you press your switch to bring down the glass, the motor drives a gear that rotates the cable assembly, pulling the cable down, sliding down the bracket. And when you press the switch up, it rotates the motor in the opposite direction, pulling the cable from the top, bringing the glass up. Now when it comes to testing your window motor, this will work best with a 12-volt car battery, since these motors are meant to work on a 12-volt system. But not everyone will have a 12-volt battery laying around, and connecting to your vehicle's battery is not only risky, but far from the door window area. So I'll be showing you an alternative once we get an understanding of how to connect them and test them. To get started, here we got a good working window motor regulator assembly off of a Honda Civic. These connectors for the rear windows are normally two-pronged, since they only require to be able to move the motor up or down. So to test the window motor, you'll want to connect the test leads to the window motor connection, but as you can see here, the alligator clips will not always fit. Well, it'll fit one, but the second won't. So what I do in this case, I use cotter pins to slide in through the backside of the connector. If you look through there, you can see that this connector gives you access to where the wire is crimped. So sliding the cotter pin in between the housing and the terminal will provide us a good connection to the wires. So we slide one cotter pin on one, then repeat this on the next wire. Now we're able to connect the wires without alligator clips. Now we grab our small jumper wires, connecting one to one, then the next one to the other. For now it doesn't matter which one goes where, but we do not want them to touch each other. So you will want to be mindful of that before connecting to the battery. Now with the other ends of the wires in hand, we'll connect one alligator clip to the positive, and we'll tap the other to the negative. And if our motor regulator assembly is good, it will either go up or down, which it does. Now to make it go the other way, all we do is reverse the wires, connecting this one to the positive post instead, and the other to the negative, thus confirming proper function of the window motor and the regulator. Now as an alternative to using a car battery, you can use a new 9-volt battery. Mind you, the motor won't move as fast, and it won't be as strong, but it will do the job. With our jumpers connected to the motor still, this time we'll replace the car battery with this 9-volt battery. And now we'll connect one clip to the negative and tap the other to the positive, or vice versa. And as you can see, the motor moves up. Now if I reverse them, the motor goes down, just as before. We can also run this test while the assembly is on the car, with the glass attached, although the resistance will be higher, so this is why it'd be best to use an unused, fully charged battery. Once again, we connect the jumpers to the connector, although for this one, we do have enough space to reach the connector terminals, but as before, we want to make sure that they don't touch. Well, let's go ahead and connect our clamps to the battery, one to the negative and the other to the positive. And there it goes. Let's reverse them. And works good there too. Now if you're testing the motor with more than two wires, like this one I took off of a Honda Odyssey, this one the front driver's side, on the connector we'll want to look for the two thicker wires, which in most cases will be the main motor wires. The other two wires are for the auto up feature, so you don't have to worry about those. But if you do have access to your window motor wiring diagram, you'll want to look for the two wire colors that are for the main window motor, just to be sure. So as with the other connector, these two prongs are too small for the alligator clips, so I use the cotter pins to connect to the wire directly from the back of the connector. Once again, it doesn't matter which goes where, you just want to make sure that they don't touch. Now we grab our battery and connect one to the positive and the other to the negative. But it sounds like all we get is a click. Let's reverse it, and once again a click. But it does sound like it moved a little. Well, this one was removed for a reason. Normally a click or a slight movement is a sign that the cable may be twisted inside. So how about we open it up to find out if the motor is still good. Well, to get this cover off, we'll need to pry out the cover all around from these retaining tabs. Using a screwdriver or something similar, just pry them up a little till they come off. Once they're all detached, just pop off the cover like so. And yeah, sure enough, you can see that the cable is twisted up, probably preventing the motor from moving. We should be able to remove the cable mechanism from the motor by popping it up and off, lifting it up all around. Removing this guide here should help us out. Now that should give us better access to pop up this spool. Now with that off, we can give this motor another try. Connecting one lead to the negative and touch the other to the positive, and there we go, the motor moves. Flipping the wires around, and the motor now spins the other way, confirming that the motor still works and the regulator was the problem. Just like the Chevy Avalanche regulator assembly, this cable is so tangled up you can see it from here, and this will keep the motor from even spinning. Well, with the regulator assembly off, let's give this motor a try. And it looks like this motor works as well. So in both of these situations, if you wanted to get the window regulator without the motor, you could get away with just replacing the regulator. Well, that'll just about do it for this video. I hope you were able to find it helpful and informative. If so, please click that thumbs up button to support my video and my channel. And please subscribe if you haven't done so.